This is an ABC News special.
We have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government. But I expect that both Democrats and Republicans will operate in good faith. This is an opportunity for all parties to work together for the benefit of our whole beautiful, wonderful nation.
Live from the nation's capital, the State of the Union address and the Democratic response. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
Good evening and welcome to our special coverage of President Trump's State of the Union. At the halfway mark of his term, this will be the third time the president has appeared in the House chamber. As we're looking there at the First Lady, Melania Trump, and the president's cabinet there, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, they are sitting in a chamber where the first new Congress will be sworn in. So despite a strong economy that continues to produce jobs at a solid clip, the president does have his work cut out for him tonight, facing a divided Congress and a divided country. I'm here tonight with our whole political team. I want to start with World News anchor David Muir at the Capitol. And David, we had the chance to join the president at lunch today. He knows he has to address these deep divides.
Oh, no question about that, George. This is part of a tradition that dates back years with previous presidents as well. Anchors and reporters invited to the White House on these days when the State of the Union is delivered. But as you mentioned, George, it's a divided Congress. It's a divided country. And the president knows that. He talked today about having to go in there and make the case that there is room for unity on certain issues where hopefully both parties can see that there is a solution that they can combine forces on. And in fact, we've learned tonight he will say it's not a Republican or a Democrat agenda. It's an agenda for the American people. But as you point out, a very different Congress will stand in front of. A lot of people will also be watching. The House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, sitting right behind him. She said late this afternoon that she's hoping for pockets of compromise tonight, George, listening to him if he brings up infrastructure and prescription drug prices.
The President of the United States!
There's House Sergeant at Arms there, Paul Irving, introducing the president. Make the traditional walk down the aisle. David Muir, he also said that it wasn't just those investigations that are getting in the way of progress. It is foolish wars, endless wars. You're just back from Afghanistan this weekend, met with the commanding general, General Miller. The president talked about getting out of Afghanistan, did not give a date certain, set some conditions.
Absolutely right, George. He didn't give a date for that drawdown of U.S. troops in Afghanistan. But as he said in his State of the Union tonight, great nations do not fight endless wars. He talked about the Taliban talks that four-star general confirmed to us were ongoing. He considered them encouraging, significant. And he said to me over the weekend in Kabul that if there's going to be an end game to this war in Afghanistan, it's going to be a political one, not one that comes from the military. And you heard the president tonight said they are accelerating those constructive talks. And if we see progress in these negotiations, we will be able to reduce our troop presence in Afghanistan. And General Miller told us when we asked him point blank, have you received the order for any type of drawdown yet? He said, no, not yet. But he, as the general on the ground, said he will respond to the policymakers in Washington and to the president. He indicated to me that he can do this in Afghanistan with a reduced footprint. So perhaps we will see that in the months to come, George.